everyone. For those of you who don't know, my name is Danny. For those of you who do know, my name is still Danny. Today, as you can probably see with what you're looking at here, we're going to look at the lovely game of chess. As some of you who've followed this channel for a long time would know, I'm a very big fan of chess. I have played it many, many years. I've done many competitions, tournaments, I've spoken about it quite a lot. I've even gone to Chessington World of Adventures, which is all about chess. It's an entire... Well, it doesn't matter, we won't get into that. But I wanted to share some of the tips and tricks that I've learned in my time in this wonderful game, and hoping that I can help some of you improve your games as well. We're using here today, it's called a Charleston board. It's a beginner's board because I find it offers quite a lot of versatility, because some of the more pro chess boards, they can be a bit rugged, I don't know what it is about it, but it just doesn't, I just don't feel like I'm playing chess. I feel like I'm on sort of a trampoline of genius, and I don't want that. What I want is basic. It's the checkered battleground, you know. That's what I feel like I achieve with this. Now, this, even though it's sort of a Charleston board in this setup, it's still, well, this cost me, well, I had it custom made. This probably cost me in the realm of about £500. And that was a couple of years ago now. This will probably around about £700. This would set you back now. But it's, when you play on it, you'll understand. You can really tell the difference in play between sort of your classic mid-range Charleston to if you start going near sort of a Buckingham Deluxe or anything near that, and obviously those set you back £6,000, £7,000. It just makes you a better player. This way, it's one of those things, isn't it? It depends who you ask. I had the pleasure of interviewing Big Ronnie Two Hands, which is, you know, very important figure in modern chess, but also sort of the crossover between the stuff that was happening in the late 70s and early 80s. And Ronnie told me, you know, he always played with a Buckingham Deluxe, but he said just in case, he used to keep a little Mellow 5 in his back pocket. And for those of you who don't know what a Mellow 5 is, it's like a chessboard like this, but it only has sort of a 3x3 grid here, and you can play a full game of chess on that. I've never worked out how, but you know, some people, they swear by it, they really do. Anyway, I've been waffling on. Let's actually get into the chess tactics. So, make sure all these pieces are happy. I'm just going to switch my phone off vibrate. There we are. How unprofessional of me. Before I start, I love to, for the record for this, that you're playing these ones, I'm playing these ones. Obviously we can't do a real game because you're not here. But for the purpose of this, I like to check in with my team first. So my pawns, I check they're happy, because I find a happy pawn just makes the game a bit smoother. You got to check in on my little guys. I find that's very, very important. It's something that's often missed in the higher level tournaments. They're all about their score and their, I don't know, like tactics, which obviously are very important for the play. But if your pieces are unhappy, they're not going to perform as well. So I check in with my pawns. There we are. Make sure they're all nice and happy. Oh, are they all happy? Yeah, they're happy. These castles, just to make sure, I like to put them ever so slightly over there. I feel like that throws the other side off a little bit. Horses. And the bishies. And the queenie. And the king. The king, I like sort of facing away. Hard to tell, but they do have ways in which they face. Because I feel if I was going into battle and the person I was battling against was just facing the other direction, that's intimidating. I'd say, wow, what are they looking at? What is more important than me? And then I'll go, they're looking at nothing. Is nothing more important than me? I must be worthless, I'll surrender. That's kind of what I'm going for in this high level play. Okay. Okay, really interesting here. Not so much on the board right now. I just looked at my camera and it used to tell me how many minutes left of recording, but it's not done now. So that's exciting. Doesn't matter. Hey ho. We'll carry on. So the first move that we're going to speak about, we'll start with a classic, which is the Queen's Gambit, which is it's an opening, both in chess and on Netflix. So white moves from c2 to c4. Black mirrors. Then you know there, and this that they call is the Queen's Gambit, because now the black has to make a choice. And it's a very important choice, because if they mess it up, they've potentially lost the whole game forever. Because sorry. Because if black was sort of an idiot, a fool, reckless, a hooligan, or some sort of a dribbling moron, they'll go, oh, well, I'll mirror that. And then, of course, your queen's got a little direct in, right in there, and he can't do anything about. Well, I suppose you could move the, but then then I suppose it doesn't matter what it is. Oh shit! What it is well, it's one of those things. But imagine you didn't do that. Imagine you were like, well, I might take that. Yeah. Well, you've done that then, haven't you? Well, it doesn't probably go there. That goes over there. And then you've done that. And that's the Queen's Gambit. It's a really interesting sort of, I don't want to go too much into detail about it, I don't want to bore you, but that's kind of what that is. But I'm more interested in some of the more advanced moves. Now, you've heard of castling, where if your castle hasn't moved, your queen hasn't moved, those things are out, they can sort of switch places with your king and stuff like that, and that's great. But there's way more advanced stuff you can have at play, which people don't really speak about as much, that are equally as important for a modern game. My favourite currently is called the Queen's Holiday. Now, the Queen's Holiday, it's so very rarely seen. So I've got my monitor on, so I can hear the levels, but it's throwing back to me ever so slightly too slow, and it's doing that thing where it's making it hard to think, because I've got voices in my ears, different ones to the ones that are usually there. So doesn't matter. So if you just see me slur and stutter a bit, I am okay. I'm not having a stroke. Or maybe I am, actually. If this is being paid sort of ironically at my funeral, well, joke's on me, I suppose. The Queen's Holiday. Now, we're going to use my queen, because that's my one. That's her. Right, can you see me? You can sort of see my finger. That's her there. Regal, isn't she? Beautiful. Right, now, before anything has happened on the board, the queen can decide to take a holiday. Now, what that means is she disappears off. Now, you lose control of her for about 10 or so turns. And you can, well, there's things you can do here. You can have a pawn queen, So the pawn sits there, but it can't do anything. It just kind of looks like a queen. It's kind of pointless. So we usually just leave what we call an empty throne, which is there. Then in 10 turns' time, the queen comes back from her holiday. Yeah? She comes back. She's got her bags. Yeah, and she's also got a butler. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I have the required... I don't know. I have to use something else. All modern chess sets come with these now. But obviously this is my Charleston board, so it doesn't have that, which is the butler piece. And that's in 10 turns' time. She comes back, depending on where she went on holiday, and obviously that's a dice roll. But say, for example, she went to the Bognor Regis in the Isle of Wight, and that means she went to the Bognor Regis 5. So she comes back here with her butler. Now, it doesn't matter, this isn't what the butler chip actually looks like. That's just a badge of a project I worked on a while ago. And then she's back there, and she is refreshed. Yeah, now usually the queen can go in all directions, apart from up and down. And when she's refreshed, it's just so much easier, because you can also move like a knight. Yeah, very good. That's a refreshed queen. Comes in there, and the butler acts as another little pawn, but can't go as far because he's carrying her bags. So that's the Queen's Holiday. It's a very good move. I won in the championships a little while ago, where the Queen took a delayed holiday, and then just in a nick of time, she came back. The butler threw her bags across the board, and managed to hit the king in the head, knocking him back 3 spaces and off the board. So it was a sumo out, and that won the game. Very good, very high level play, really. Very, very high level play. Now, there is another move, which I again, you don't see this one done too much. Say you're in a situation where you've moved your pawn out there, and your castle goes there, and say, well, for example, just muddy up the board a bit. Say it's the start of a game. So something like that's happened. So you've done that, whatever that is. Don't know why you're an idiot. I don't know why you've done that, but I've done that. So I can use my pawn, and instead of taking a turn, I can declare him an estate agent, and that gives him the power to get into the castle. Yeah. So you have that, and then the pawn can ride on the castle that moves. That's just accepted. He can ride around at that, and he can take 1 turn to dismount in any direction. So instead of him being like, oh, you can't go there, I can go, okay, you get in that, and then bang, right there. Yeah? Then he's there, isn't he? That's where he is. And then if you have an extra sort of potion of second turn, which presumably if you've declared one of the bishops a wizard, which I'm not sure if I've gone through. I definitely haven't gone through in this video. I might have gone through in a previous video. If you declare the bishop a wizard, you can spend a turn brewing a potion of whatever I just said, and then he can hop out and do that. And look at that, and that's 1 turn, sort of. And then he can do that, and then you can whatever. Doesn't matter. It's a good move. Very unique move in the. Checking if it's still recording. A very unique move in the current meta of chess. Okay, so we've covered estate agenting, we've covered the Queen's Holiday. Another move I think that gets overlooked is the Banquet of Filth. So you can, say another opening. Say you've done that, they've done that. Say he's popped over there and he's done that. He's made far more moves than you. He's probably cheating, but we'll ignore that. That's gone there. And then we'll put there. So this is the start of a game. He's doing the Baskerville opening there, obviously. And you're doing sort of the Dribbling Man's Clogs, which is an entirely different opening, obviously. So you've got this, and you can start the Banquet of Filth by first moving the bishop 3 spaces. It could be any direction, doesn't matter. Yeah, but he has to be near the knight. Or the horse, depending on what you call it. I call it, the knight or the horse. It doesn't matter. Near that thing. And then he can choose to consume the horse, sort of a weird, disgusting raw meat, filthy banquet. So he'll do that. Yum yum yum. He yum 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 yum. He does that. So he then gains not only the power of the knight, but he can also fly. And flight is a really interesting thing. We haven't really covered too much in chess, but it just allows you the use of a different plane. So obviously chess takes place over one plane. Now that he's activated the Banquet of Filth, he can be up there, can't he? Obviously I've not got the appropriate chessboard for that. But he can have a little float, and then nothing can get him, and he can sort of dive bomb on things. That move is banned in certain competitive fields, not because it's too powerful, because it was invented by a paedophile. Awful. Okay. Right. What other things can I introduce you to that you might find a lot of value in? You probably already know this one. This one's really, really, really common. I think it gets played all the time. It's called the pawn transformer. So if you get your pawns, you get what's called a meeting of pawns. So if you manage to get all your pawns in a row, which you can do like that, all your pawns like that, which is easily done, you can do what's called a pawn transformer. So all of them will go into one square, and it's implied that that's sort of like the Power Rangers. It's a pawn, but it's got 2 pawns for legs and 2 pawns for arms. And it's got kind of a lot of lives, and it can fly as well. So with that, it might go, it can also take 2 turns at once. So it goes, we'll go 1, 2, that's 1 turn. Now, this can try and take it, but he can't, because that's only 1 pawn, that's 4. It'll just kick the shit out of it. So it goes, I'll take your pawn transformer, and then you go, no, you won't. You back off. Yeah? Sit back in your chair. Sit down. You will do no such thing. How dare you think you can do that? That's not fair. That's not okay. That makes a mockery of everything that this game stands for. How dare you? That's what you say there, and then so it dies forever. If you throw the piece in the bin, you can't use it again, it's dead. And then you can just sort of do what you want. Again, that move is banned. Again, not banned, but in professional sort of competitive chess, doesn't get played too often. Not because it's too powerful, because it was invented by a murderer. It's a shame. How long have I got? I've still got some time. We'll go through some more high-level plays. We'll go some very high-level plays. We touched earlier on... Well, we didn't touch. I've not touched you. Probably. Don't know who's watching this. I might have touched you. Not in a weird way, but I mean, we might have shook hands or hugged. So if you are watching this and I have touched you, sort of relish in that. That's quite nice, because of the presumably 12 other people that watch this, they probably haven't been touched by me. Again, not in a bad way, but in a way that sort of suggests friendship. And that's nice. So I might have touched you. So relish in that. Maybe comment about that. Don't comment about that, because all of you will say I've done bad things to you, because I read the comment sections. And a lot of you are right, so I want to keep that off. We touched on that earlier, the crowning the bishop a wizard. The bishop can do lots of different things. It can brew potions, as we know. It can perform rudimentary spells, not particularly powerful spells. It's but a bishop, so it's of the holy variety. It's not really arcane, but it's... Excuse me. Thank you for excusing me. One of the favourite things is, of course, Holy Beam. That's a good one, a very powerful So we'll start the game again. So your pawn goes there, that goes there, that plays there, maybe that goes there, maybe one of the castles has the burrowing enchantment, so it can go under the pawn to go there. Maybe this queen goes on holiday. We're just saying at the board to make it seem. Yeah, your king goes in disguise. Common move. This hibernates a pawn. One of the there's an earthquake. Obviously, someone plays the earthquake, which makes the castle go diagonal, and then one of the horse dies. It just happens as a horse, doesn't it? So you got this usual board. So in this circumstance, you might be able to use Holy Beam. So obviously, considering you've blessed the board beforehand, before the game, and set up for that sort of stuff, you are able to sort of in one turn move the bishop there and use the Holy Beam. And depending on obviously the strength of the Holy Beam and what prayer and what rites and what God shines down upon you, it might, obviously I'll always take out the first one, but it might penetrate. And if it penetrates onto that king, well, that king, you don't win. It'd be too easy if you won. That king goes into sideways, which is defense mode, and then it can summon the pawns, to make a little barrier. Which is the king's defense, but because it's sideways, it means the king can now only move sideways. Unless, of course, this is also a wizard, and it can play decurse on the king, which makes it move the right way again. But those pawns are still there, because those are naughty pawns. Everyone say naughty pawns. Chess is a really simple game. There's a lot of nuance in chess. I don't understand why people say, I don't understand chess. I've never played chess. I'll never like chess. I don't understand why people say that. Because chess at its heart is such a simple game, isn't it? It's such a simple game with very, very simple rules. It's just... I think it's laziness, honestly, why people don't learn chess. I've been playing chess, as I said, for many years. Many. At least 30. And, I'm still learning things every day. That's the beauty of this great game. The war game, the board war game. That's what they call it. It's the board war game. Says me, peeking my mic. Sorry. I think we probably got time for... we'll do one more. Okay, what's probably going to be most interesting? We go for the blackguard's defense. We'll go for... okay, this move is called the Old Shoes on the Mountain. And it was first coined by Jimmy Shoes, who, obviously, if you know about chess and you're watching this, you know who Jimmy Shoes is. Jimmy Shoes was the first ever man. And he was fantastic. He goes back a long way. I'm not sure if he ever played chess, but he did write about this particular move. So, obviously, this move only works if you've got ghosts enabled, but I'm presuming you would have ghosts enabled, whatever. So, the pawn takes a ghost. That pawn takes that ghost. Yeah, well, it doesn't have to do like that. You can just... takes a ghost, well, you want to get there, so it's safe. Oh, take your ghosts all the way over, keep taking your ghosts. Oh, shit. And then these, obviously, will take the ghosts. This is all in one turn, obviously, as you know, the famous... Oh, kind of have to be that, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would have to be that. The famous chess adage that you've all heard or saw written on sort of mugs in game shops is that ghosts in chess... ghosts don't take a turn. That's where the famous phrase, in chess, ghosts don't take a turn, comes from. Then, you got that. Well, I don't know. Actually, I might have set up the move wrong. It's Old Shoes on the Mountain. Yeah, so you take the ghosts. You get the thing to do... What have I got? get the thing to do that. And then, obviously, you bless the mountain. I've blessed the mountain. Okay, what should be happening right now, and it doesn't appear to be, maybe it doesn't work on a Charleston board, is that a mountain sort of rises from the board and changes the topography of the board, which sometimes, if you're lucky, knocks the king over. And it doesn't count as checkmate, because the king's merely unconscious and the queen has to spend a couple of turns doing CPR. And even if that's right, the queen gets the trauma debuff. I mean, she can't move as far because she's crying. But that's not happened here. I don't know why. Maybe I'll have to phone the manufacturer of the board. That's a shame. Sorry, I couldn't end on something interesting there. Or more interesting, I should say. This video, I have no doubt, has been incredibly interesting. I have no doubt this video has been... It's one of the most interesting things you've seen today. It's chess, isn't it? I love chess. Or as the pros call it, chess. So, yeah, let me know any chess tips that you like in the comments. If you want to see more chess moves, let me know in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon. Apologies to ASMR Chess, whose channel I discovered earlier on today. Can you tell? Okay, I'm gonna go now. I'm actually late for a meeting in a well, so I need to go there. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.